Well, we are live on Yonkers Voice, and our guest today is Wendy. What's your last name?
Valdez.
Wendy Valdez. Wendy is a teacher in Yonkers Public School System. Wendy has been fired for her position because of the mask that she decided to wear, a mask that displays her faith. I love Jesus. And because of this mask, she alleges that she has been dismissed from her position. Now, Yonkers Voice does not confirm the story. This is her story. She's going to tell us the way it is. I will give the Yonkers Public School also an opportunity for a statement if they choose to give us a statement. Wendy, just for the sake of the interview, I'm going to ask you to lower your mask. I know it's COVID and all that, but so people can hear, because it's important that they hear what you have to say. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yes, definitely. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wendy Valdez. I am the ENL teacher at the Cesar Chavez School. This is my second year working for the district. On February the 4th, my school principal, Mrs. Delaney, requested that I remove my mask. She said that it was making other people uncomfortable, that people were complaining, and my reply to her was that it was against my First Amendment right, the request that she was making, but that if she could provide some written information that stated that I was breaking any law, or that it was against district policy, I had no problem to remove it. The end of the conversation was, okay, I'm giving you a directive. If you do not comply with the directive, you will face the consequences.
Now, is that some type of a rule in the public schools that you cannot be wearing or displaying your faith, because otherwise you're going to be indoctrinating the students?
Yes.
And there is a separation between faith and school.
Yes.
Did they tell you about this?
I am covered by the First Amendment. In the school district, there's no policy. I have something that I would like to read to you in regards to
Please, yes.
Separation of church and state. There's a misconception. Many people use the term, and hear the term, but they do not really understand what it means. So separation of church and state is actually what allows me, what covers my rights to wear and display my faith. It's the same as of with Jewish people wearing their kippah, or Muslim people who wear the hijab. It's like wearing a cross with a crucifix with Jesus on the cross. It's the same thing. So let me just share with you. It's good to be informed.
Okay, as you look for that, look for it, and let me talk to my audience. Guys, if you have any questions, if you want to make a statement, please write it down. As you guys can see, I'm looking down, not that I'm being disrespectful to my guest. I'm just looking at what you're writing so I can ask her the question that you are posing.
Okay, so separation of church and state is based on the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, states Congress should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The two parts known as the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause, respectively, form the textual basis of the Supreme Court's interpretation. So explaining that the principle, basically, what does separation of church and state mean? It means that the principle that the government must maintain an attitude of neutrality toward religion. The government cannot take one religion, choose one from the other, so it has to stay neutral. How many religions do we have? We have many different religions. So that's why each individual is free to choose what to display. It is different as a teacher if in my classroom I decide to have a cross, a crucifix, if I press my student to pray or to do any type of religious influence to try to push my agenda on them. This is simply personal. It is my faith. It's like somebody wearing a Louis Vuitton covering, I like Louis Vuitton, it's that person telling me you have to wear or buy Louis Vuitton. It's like a person with the Yankees, with a Yankees shirt, it's that person making me want to believe in the Yankees or like the Yankees or prefer the Yankees. It's just the same thing.
Or a shirt with BLM. But
Black Lives Matter.
As we heard, there has been some staff in certain schools that have asked their students to remove BLM T-shirts. Have you heard about that as well?
I have. It's very interesting. I was talking to my daughter last night, and she's so much into politics, and she likes all of that. She wants to become a lawyer. And she searched online. I actually have a few pictures to share. Too bad I didn't get them. I have them there. I don't know if I have the time to bring them. There's a person, a congresswoman. Her name is, I believe, Cori Bush. She worked to Congress. Her Breonna Taylor, in support of that, case back then a year ago. She wears her Black Lives Matters on her mask to Congress. So freedom of religion expression is what it's called. There's nothing wrong. I did my research. I consulted legal advisors. And there's nothing wrong, but it is what it is.
But now, we are live, Wendy, and there is somebody asking this. Was it the principal or the superintendent that fired you?
Okay, as of now, I am not being officially fired. I know my employment has been terminated. I was here at the board office on Friday. Where I thought I came to try to resolve the issue. Let me give you a short timeline. So on February the 4th, my principal asked me to remove the mask. She couldn't give me any written proof that I was breaking any law. After February the 4th, I went from being a very good teacher, excellent in everything, in regards to my job in the school system. I have been doing this job for 18 years. This is only my second year in Yonkers, but I have been in the field of education for 18 years with outstanding performance. Now by February the 5th, I became the worst teacher in the history of Yonkers Public Schools. By February the 8th, I was already dealing with the union. She started to retaliate because I didn't remove the mask.
The principal.
Obviously, the principal, Mrs. Madeline Delaney, she's the principal at the Cesar Chavez School. So she started to retaliate. For the past almost 6 weeks, it was unbearable. I mean, she did things, everything to cover and to be able to fabricate a case against me. I communicated to the board office officials. I wrote to Dr. Quesada. I met with him briefly. I introduced myself. They told me I got the union involved. I proceeded to submit a grievance complaint, which was completely unaddressed, ignored. They asked me to come to the board office on last Friday. I think that is to address my concerns, my complaint. And I find that I get a letter saying that I am no longer, that I am being recommended for non-continued employment in the board. I am now in what they call the rubber room. So I am no longer able to go to Cesar Chavez. Please, parents out there who know me, if I am not working with your students, with your kids, my students, it's because I am not able to. Remember, Yonkers is a district that is short in bilingual teachers, ENL teachers. It is an area in need of teachers. Now I get to sit in a room, the rubber room, doing nothing all day, just sitting down, all throughout the day, while my students are waiting for instruction.
Is that the process that the Board of Education use when a teacher or staff has a problem? They put you in a room?
It's called the rubber room.
What they say, go to your room now?
Well, it is a room at the Viva School building. I reported there this morning. They just show me this is where you're gonna be. I'm only able to go to the bathroom, and for lunchtime I can go outside and come back. I'm not to be walking in the hallways or mingling, due to
Wendy,
COVID guidelines.
let me ask me a couple of questions because people are asking. Lorraine Lopez is a community leader here in Yonkers.
Okay.
And she's asking, what have you done?
Okay.
Or what legal steps have you done?
Okay.
You just told me that you spoke with your legal advisors.
Yes, I have.
But what else have you done?
Okay.
And what did your legal advisors told you?
Okay, from day one, I called immediately on February the 8th. That's when I got the first disciplinary notice, 3 pages long, of how bad of a teacher I am from Mrs. Delaney. I proceeded to call my attorney at that time, and my attorney told me it's too soon. This is just the beginning. She walked me through the whole process of what she predicted was going to happen. And soon enough, yes, it happened. I called her back. So now the process is I have already submitted a complaint with the New York State Department of Human Rights. I am pending response. I just submitted it. This was Friday. I worked on the paperwork Saturday and Sunday. Today's only Monday, so we need to see what's going to happen with that. My understanding that the process is once they get the claim, my claim, they are going to conduct an investigation. They are going to be contacting Yonkers Public Schools.
Who's going to do the investigation? The Board of Education?
No, New York State Department of Human Rights.
Okay.
Okay, once they conduct an investigation and they find proof that I am not lying and that I have probable cause for, all of this, that I've been retaliated, harassed, and all of that, they will give me what is called the right to sue. Once I get the right to sue, I can go ahead, my attorney can, then represent me and go to federal court.
Is there any possibility of being reinstated, or you think it's final and it's just a matter of procedures before?
It's final because one of the things that my attorney told me, once an employee is terminated, as soon as I left that meeting on Friday, all of my access to Yonkers Public School, my access to email, my Teams, which is the platform we use to teach students, my access to anything
revoked.
It's been deactivated.
Now, guys, this is not the first time we hear a story like this. Actually, maybe a year or year and a half ago. Actually, I'm sorry, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we had also a report about asbestos in one of the schools from a worker, and that worker was retaliated against. A person that worked for the Board of Education for many, many years, 20 plus years at the Yonkers Public Schools. And as soon as he went against the powers up there, he became the worst worker in the public schools. So this seems to be something that goes often. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, but sometimes projection becomes reality. The way we see things become reality. Maybe the Board of Education up there needs a change. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm just reporting, this is her story. We will contact the Board of Education tomorrow and see if they have any comments about this. Now, the union. You have a union.
I do, and I pay union dues.
Who's your president, the union president?
It's Miss Samantha Rosado.
Maybe Miss Samantha Rosado can also contact Yonkers Voice and talk about this, because your members are not happy. I understand that you have a 6 months probation. You have not completed your 6 months, or have you?
I'm not sure. I don't understand. Usually as a new teacher, you get 4 years probation.
Okay.
When I was hired by Yonkers Public Schools, being that I am a veteran teacher in the field of education for so many years, they told me my probation time was only going to be 3 years. So I am into my 2nd year of probatory time. And I have everything to prove that I've had done an extremely amazing job. My parents out there that know me throughout the pandemic, I was that teacher that came to Yonkers many times to bring supplies, to bring work for the students, to make sure that they kept involved, that they didn't miss too much of schoolwork. Those of you out there are going to see me. I changed my hair. It's a different hairstyle, but it's the same person. Those parents out there in December 2019, my first year of teaching in Yonkers, I was the one that built the bear workshop to Cesar Chavez. When your kid got home with the box with their bear, it was me who conducted that. Those kids in middle school last year, we were dealing with challenging behavior students. I submitted a proposal to my principal for an after-school program for behavior challenging students, the one we call the Sunrise Cafe. That proposal that was never acknowledged, it was never addressed. I had everything in plan. I sent the whole proposal. Mrs. Delaney again never replied to that email, never said anything about it, but the kids went home. The kids were excited. They went home and they talked to the parents and told them about what we were doing. I was the one also holding the lunch club.
But let's not go too forward because I need to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Now let's talk a little bit about your record.
Okay.
Because look, I need to be fair to everyone.
Yes.
I have spoken to some people that, they believed that they had issues with the Board of Education and they were discriminated against it, and they told us the story, but they told us their version of the story.
There's always two sides.
There are always two sides. They didn't tell us the whole story.
Yes.
Okay. I was discriminated because I told about something that was wrong, this and that, and things really did not happen that way.
Yes.
I was an exemplary worker. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever been reprimanded? Have you have an excessive amount of absentees in school?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have the complaints from parents that for some reason or another they did not like the job that you were doing? Okay. Did anyone call the school and say, look, I don't want my son to be in a classroom where the teacher has I love Jesus, because my son gets home, now he's looking for who is Jesus. So her display of her faith, it's invading my privacy and my son, and I don't want that. I want the separation. I don't have nothing against Jesus, but I want to be the one, meaning the child, the one to make a decision, or the parent.
Correct.
Have you ever had any complaints?
I have never had any complaints from any parents. After February the 8th is when I supposedly started getting complaints as per Mrs. Delaney. I was never given any proof, any written proof that there were any complaints. Yes, I did have many absences this past year. We have been dealing with a worldwide pandemic. So I was absent 4 days because I got sick and I had all of the symptoms. As soon as I contacted my doctor, she instructed me to stay home because of the type of work that I do. I'm in a classroom exposed to other staff members, and it's an environment where if anyone gets sick, it can spread easily.
But I don't think that's the problem, because even the Board of Education is saying safety first.
No, but I have the letter that I was given on Friday that was provided by Mrs. Delaney and the Board of Education. I am being blamed or accused of 4 things. So,
what are they?
Okay, the first thing I have been accused is being unprofessional towards administration and colleagues. Second thing is excessive absences. The third thing is lack to service my students, the group of students that I service, which are the L students, the English language learner students, and I have been blamed of not following a directive.
So all of a sudden,
after she told me to remove the mask, all of this came across.
There was no issues before she asked you to remove the mask. As soon as she asked to remove the mask and you didn't, everything became bad. And
yes. So then I have parents calling me to find out, Ms. Valdez, what is happening. We got a call from the school, from so-and-so's class. They want us to send emails to Mrs. Delaney. They asking if you are doing your job, how we feel with you, if there's any complaints about you. So now the school is, Mrs. Delaney instructing staff members that speak Spanish to call these parents to get information about my work performance.
Okay. Now, Lorraine, my understanding is, yes, she has been fired, but per procedure of the school,
Correct.
okay, they have to wait for certain things to take place.
Yes.
She has been removed from the classroom.
Yes.
She can no longer teach. She can no longer have access to the system. She can no longer engage with the student.
Correct.
She's placed in what they call the rubber room, the punishment, the punishing room.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
So that's where she's at. That's the procedure. But she has been fired. They're just waiting for certain things that are required to happen.
It is my understanding that they have to wait for the next board meeting. Once the next board meeting, I guess, is when it's going to be official, I get my letter of termination, and that's the end of it. That, given the circumstances of how things have unfolded, after me submitting my grievance complaint, reaching out to board members, my pastors from my congregation reaching out to Mr. Steve Lopez to try to get a resolution, and now I am being punished for not complying to a request that violates my rights. I mean, the question, let me finish answering to the question about, what about, my kid coming home and asking about Jesus and this and that. Unfortunately, we are living in a society where we have to be accepting of everything. I mean, in my faith, I have to be accepted. First of all, because I am a person that loves, and love accepts everything, but in society, as in the world that we live in, black, white, Jewish, Christian, Catholic, people who like this or A, Y, or C. What about me having a student with 2 dads or 2 moms? Am I gonna say, no, I can't teach those kids? I mean, it's the world we live in, and that's what.
So you think you've been discriminated because of your faith?
I have been discriminated and
Prosecuted.
retaliated. Yes, and retaliated against by Mrs. Madeline Delaney and the board officials, because once I told them what the situation was, I feel that you have given me a chance to show that what she's saying is not true.
But I would think that if somebody comes and tells you, remove the mask, because maybe it's not the law, but maybe it's a policy of the school. I'm not saying that it is or it isn't. But if I would say, I'm giving you a directive to remove your mask, as long as you are in public schools, inside this property, and this is the policy that you are breaking.
Give me the policy.
This is the policy that you sign up for.
Exactly. Give me that policy. That's exactly what I asked Mrs. Delaney. If you show me the proof that there's a policy by the district, or she said that she called legal department to try to instill fear in me, I feel. She mentioned, the establishment clause and all of that. I said, not a problem. I have no problem to remove it. Show me proof in writing.
That this is a violation of policy.
Exactly. She couldn't provide me with anything.
Well, guys, this is it. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
I'm not saying that she's right or she's wrong. I'm just here to give the platform, because this is the place where the people of Yonkers can come and express issues that they feel it's important to them. We want to know if you agree or disagree. Let us know your point of view. Let's play devil's advocate. I understand the separation between government and religion. Maybe that is one for schools. I'm not...
But that's a misunderstanding. That is actually what covers my right.
But my point is not a misunderstanding. I understand.
Okay.
My point is, if there is a policy, if you sign up for the policy,
Yes.
then show me the policy.
Correct. That's exactly my argument.
To me, that's the argument.
Yes. Yes.
Because if there is a policy and you sign the policy, then you should not display.
Correct.
Okay. But then I ask, okay, I don't display I love Jesus on my mask. Are you going to tell everyone that wears a cross
Yes.
on their chain
Or
to
the
remove the
hijab,
chain?
or the hijab,
Exactly.
or the, yes.
Because that is a display of faith as well.
That's right. Correct.
So guys, what do you think? Leave your comments. We want to know your opinion on this matter. Now, we're going to go now and do the same interview in Spanish for our Latino.
Can I?
Yeah, give me a minute. For our Latino community. Now, I'm going to give you the chance to do your closure.
Yes, I
Yes.
thank you for taking the time to be here with us, hearing my story. Please know that I love the community of Yonkers. I love working with all of the kids in Yonkers. It's been 2 great years working for your kids, working with the bilingual community, specifically. My heart goes out to my students. They don't know what happened to Ms. Valdez. They are calling to find out where's the teacher. It's been very hard for me being taken out of the classroom without any explanation. I went to work on Thursday. My kids were working on projects that they were to present on Friday. My kids were ready to meet me again on Friday. On Friday, I am pulled out of the classroom. I go to meeting. Next thing I know is I'm not even able to go back to the building, not even to remove my personal belongings unless I make an appointment and I go with a company. I hear that I either have to go with the union. Somebody else told me today I need to go with 2 officers to make sure. I don't know what they think I can do in the building.
So are you saying there is an order of protection against you?
I don't know how the district handles, but I am not allowed to go into the building at all. I need to make an appointment with the union person. Today I was told that I need to get, I don't know who gets the security to come with me so that I can remove my personal belongings.
So if you walk into the school, it might be considered trespassing.
Yes, correct.
And they can call the police
Correct.
and have you arrested on the
Correct.
spot.
Correct. I cannot go to the school building. My kids are asking for me, my 3rd grade students, ready to present their projects. That breaks my heart. Knowing that those kids are already being, they're already lacking resources, they're already lacking services, they need so much. That's the neediest group of kids in the schools. And now, I'm a teacher, fully certified and qualified to service the students, and they do not allow me to do that
This is
on false allegations.
This is a statement that comes from Christine Elizabeth. Very interesting. This is what she says. There is a separation of church and state. United States courts have determined that public schools are an arm of the state and thus cannot do nothing to hinder or promote religion. The litmus test courts used to measure this balance was established in Lemon versus Kurzman, 1971, commonly referred to as the Lemon test. The case established 3 criteria school must abide by. They must do nothing to prohibit or promote a particular religion. They must be motivating by secular purpose, and they must avoid excessive entanglement. I'm just wondering if you're going to tell somebody to remove a mask because it says, I love Jesus, I wonder if they are going to tell all the teachers, the kids, and everybody inside the schools that work for the schools to remove the crucifix from their chains, the habab.
Exactly, they will have to remove everything if that's the case. A separation of church and state, and I repeat myself, is to cover my right. That's exactly what it is. So separation of church and state mean the principle that government must maintain an attitude of neutrality toward religion. The First Amendment not only allows citizens the freedom to practice any religion of their choice, but also prevents the government from officially recognizing or favoring any religion. So in order to avoid conflict and problems, it should be respected and...
Right. Now this comes from Lucia Martinez Jaquez. So does this mean that you don't want your child to be taught by a Muslim woman that wears hijab?
Correct. Thank
so
you.
if
That's
you
very
have
good.
a Muslim teacher, will you tell her that if you want to teach in a Yonkers public school, you have to remove what you're wearing?
No.
Food for thought.
That's good. I like that.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
So we are going to conclude on that.
Thank
I
you,
think
thank
there is
you.
some changes that need to be done. Thank you guys for watching. We are now going to do this broadcast in Spanish so our Latino community can hear what's going on according to our friend here.
Thank you so much, and please keep me in your prayers.
Thank you for watching, guys.